If you're aiming for university or maybe professional registration using IELTS, well, you definitely need to get your head around the updated academic computer-based writing module for 2025.
Hmm.
You're probably looking to get informed, get ready, and, not get tangled up in all the details. So consider this your focused strategy session.
Precisely. And our mission here really is to give you the absolute essential information on this module.
Okay.
We're going to break down its structure, look at what's different from the paper test, clarify the scoring, and give you some really smart preparation tips. Think of it as like your fast track to understanding this crucial part of the exam.
Okay, great. Let's jump right in then. The structure first. Two writing tasks, right? Task one, what's the deal there?
Right. So task one on the computer-based test, it asks you to write a report based on some kind of visual information.
Okay, like what?
Oh, it could be a line graph, maybe bar chart, a table, could even be a map or a process diagram. The main thing is you need to summarize the key features, describe the info accurately, and explain any important trends or comparisons you notice.
So it's not about describing absolutely everything you see. And what about length? How long should it be, and how much time do we get?
Good question. For task one, you need to write at least 150 words, and the suggestion is to spend about 20 minutes on it.
Just 20 minutes.
Yeah, roughly. So imagine you see maybe a line graph showing student numbers over 10 years, or a table comparing literacy rates, or even a diagram showing how recycling works. Your task is to pull out the most important stuff and present it clearly.
Got it. Find the main points, describe them, explain the meaning. All in about 20 minutes, 150 words minimum. Okay. Now, task two, that's the essay part, isn't it?
Exactly. Task two is your essay task. You get a question or a statement, and you have to respond.
Respond how?
Well, you might need to present an argument, or give your opinion, maybe discuss a problem and suggest some solutions, or perhaps evaluate different ideas or perspectives.
Okay, so a more in-depth piece. What's the word count and time for this one?
Yeah, it's more substantial. For task two, the minimum is 250 words, and the recommendation is to allocate about 40 minutes to get it done.
40 minutes, 250 words, and the kind of topics.
You might see something like, some people think university education should be free. Do you agree or disagree? Or maybe discuss the advantages and disadvantages of living in a big city. Those kinds of prompts.
Right. Okay. So two quite different writing challenges packed into 1 hour. Now, thinking about people familiar with the old paper-based test, what are the biggest changes moving to the computer, the real standouts?
Well, the most obvious thing I think is typing instead of handwriting. That really changes how you write.
How so?
The ease of editing is just
Hmm.
huge. You can copy, cut, paste sections, delete words, rewrite sentences much, much more easily than scribbling things out on paper.
Oh, I can see that. That sounds like a massive plus for anyone who likes to tweak things as they write. What other sort of digital benefits are there?
Another really handy feature is the automatic word count. It's right there on the screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you always know exactly where you are in terms of hitting those minimums, 150 for task one, 250 for task two, takes away the guesswork. Plus, there's an on-screen timer keeping track for you. Much easier to manage your time per task.
Those sound like definite practical improvements, but are there any catches, any like potential downsides to doing it on a computer that people should be aware of?
That's a really important point. While you get these conveniences, you also lose some things. The big one is no automatic spell check.
Really? No spell check at all?
None, none. So any spelling mistakes you make are just
Yeah.
there. They stand out more. Arguably, you have to rely completely on your own proofreading. It's easy to get a bit lazy if you're used to Word or Google Docs catching everything for you.
Wow, okay. So even though it's digital, it won't fix your typos. That's a crucial heads up. Now let's talk about the overall timing again. We mentioned the 20-40 minute split suggestion. How strict is that?
Well, the total time for the whole writing module is exactly 60 minutes. That's fixed.
Right.
The 20-40 split is just a guideline, a recommendation. The key thing is your management of that hour. The computer won't force you to switch tasks, so you need the discipline to move from task one to task two. If you spend, say, 30 minutes on task one.
You've only got 30 left for the bigger essay.
Exactly. And task two carries more weight in your score. So self-awareness, good timekeeping, they're absolutely non-negotiable.
Makes sense. Okay, how is all this writing actually marked? What are the examiners looking for when they give out those band scores?
Good question. Your writing for both tasks is assessed against 4 criteria, and they're all equally weighted.
4 criteria. Okay, what are they?
First, there's task achievement for task one, basically. Did you answer the question properly based on the visual? And for task 2, it's called task response. Did you address all parts of the essay prompt effectively?
Okay, that's one.
Second is coherence and cohesion. This looks at how well you organize your ideas. Are they logical? Do they flow smoothly? Are you using linking words correctly?
Right, the structure and flow.
Third is lexical resource. That's your vocabulary. Are you using a good range of words? Or are you using them accurately?
Vocab range and accuracy. Got it. And the fourth.
Fourth is grammatical range and accuracy. So this assesses your sentence structures. Are you using a variety? Simple and complex. And of course, is your grammar correct? Punctuation counts here too.
Okay, so task achievement or response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. 4 pillars, equal weight. And how does that translate into the final score?
Each of those 4 gets a band score from 0 up to 9. Your final writing band score is simply the average of those 4 scores. So it's a pretty balanced assessment of your writing skills.
Understanding that definitely helps clarify what you should be aiming for when you practice. Let's maybe circle back to the practicalities. What are the clear advantages of doing this on a computer?
Well, like we said, for many people, typing is just faster than handwriting. That's a big one.
Sure.
The ease of editing, moving paragraphs, changing sentences, it's a massive benefit for organizing your thoughts. Also, typed text generally looks neater, cleaner than handwriting, which, might just present your ideas a bit more clearly.
Hmm.
And having that word count and timer right there on screen helps you stay focused and manage things without having to count words manually or constantly check your watch.
Okay, those are strong points for the computer format, but what about the flip side? What are the potential hurdles or challenges people should really think about?
Well, number 1 is probably typing skills. If you're a slow or inaccurate typist, that could really eat into your time and focus. You might spend more energy just getting the words down than thinking about the content.
Right, you need to be comfortable typing.
Definitely. And the lack of spell check, we mentioned that. You need to be much more careful with spelling and proofreading. Also, writing academically essays. Reports might feel a bit different typing versus handwriting for some people. It requires practice.
And maybe just the exam setting itself.
Yeah, for some, taking a high-stakes test on a computer might just feel unfamiliar or add a bit of extra stress, especially if you're not used to computer-based exams in general.
Those are definitely things to consider based on your own background and comfort level. So putting this all together, what are your absolute best, top tips for someone preparing specifically for this computer-based IELTS writing?
Okay, top tips. First, practice, practice, practice typing full essays and reports under timed conditions. Get used to it.
Makes sense. Simulate the test.
Exactly. Second, always plan before you type. Even just a quick outline, couple of minutes, it saves time in the long run and makes your writing much more coherent.
Plan first, type second. Good one.
Third, actively work on your grammar and vocabulary. Review the rules, learn new words. This feeds directly into 2 of those 4 scoring criteria.
Right.
During the actual test, try to stay calm. Use the timer and word counter as helpful tools, not sources of panic. And remember, quality is more important than just hitting the word count quickly. Focus on clear, well-structured writing.
Quality over quantity.
Always. And finally, leave yourself a few minutes at the very end to proofread. Catch those typos and small grammar errors that the spell check won't find for you.
That's all incredibly practical advice. So just to recap this deep dive on the updated IELTS academic computer-based writing for 2025. We've covered the 2 tasks, the visual report and the essay. We've highlighted the key differences with the computer format, like editing and no spell check. We've unpacked the 4 scoring criteria, and we've gone through some really crucial prep strategies.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought for you listening. Really consider how this computer format plays to your strengths or perhaps where your challenges might lie. Are you a fast typist? Are you good at proofreading?
Yeah, knowing yourself is key.
It really is. Tailoring your preparation to focus on your specific needs with this format that's going to be vital for doing well in 2025.